Hello, I'm Gill Nicol. I work as an audience engagement specialist and consultant based in the Blue Mountains, to the west of Sydney, here in Australia. I'm privileged to live and work on Darug and Gundungurra country, and although I'm talking to you today from Wiradjuri land, I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the Darug and Gundungurra elders who have cared for the land in the Blue Mountains for thousands of years. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Hi there, I'm Cecily Knowles, Public Engagement and Education Officer here at Orange Regional Gallery, based in the central west of New South Wales. Today we are speaking to you from the gallery, which is based on beautiful Wiradjuri land, the traditional country of the Wiradjuri people. Orange sits at the base of Gunnumbula, Mount Canobolas, a site of great cultural significance to Wiradjuri people, who have inhabited a vast area of what is now known as New South Wales for at least 60,000 years, and who continue to care for country, community and culture today. I pay my respects to elders past and present. Orange is a growing regional centre, 3.5 hours drive west of Sydney. It's a beautiful place to live. Well known for its cool climate by Australian standards, pretty streets and surrounding orchards, vineyards and bushland. Orange has a thriving food and wine culture and is a popular place to visit. Our gallery presents a diverse exhibition program that features the work of local, regional and nationally respected artists, alongside selected works from a significant permanent collection of more than 1,500 artworks. As Community Engagement Education Officer, I work as part of the tiny but mighty team of just 6 full-time staff to program a range of activities linked to our exhibitions and collections. This year, I've also had the pleasure of co-developing our new 10-month audience development and wellbeing pilot program, Connecting to Place, which aim to build new and ongoing relationships with migrant and refugee communities to support wellbeing and social connection.
We are delighted to be part of this MuseumNext Wellness Summit and have the opportunity to talk about connecting to place. So, how did it all start? I approached the gallery in 2024 to see if they would be interested in working with me on starting an art and wellbeing programme of their own. We'd already worked together when I was in my former role as Director of Audience Engagement at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Sydney. I worked there for nearly 8 years and left in May 2023. And before I left the MCA, I oversaw a pilot creativity and wellbeing programme called ArtFlow, which we set up for the general public. Now, this had been planned since the early days of COVID, way back in 2020, to support a more emotionally vulnerable public, for those who don't have a mental health diagnosis, but who are languishing, feeling flat. It was to look at new ways of connecting people back to art, to themselves and to each other, and also to reach new audiences. That section of the general public that is curious but unconfident about contemporary art. So ArtFlow was developed in partnership with the Mind Room, a health and wellbeing community based in Melbourne, who were brilliant. The Mind Room shared knowledge and tools that enabled us to co-create a 45-minute, slow-looking experience. It was led by artist educators, usually with a group of around 12 people looking at one artwork. And through creative strategies, they were invited to notice, name, and reflect on their emotional selves. And over 500 people took part across 4 months. An amazing, unexpected outcome of ArtFlow was that it combated loneliness. And it was this fact that the director of Orange Regional Gallery, Bradley Hammond, Brad, responded to the most when I got in touch with him.
Learning about how Gill's inspiring work had been helping people to reduce the experience of loneliness was of particular interest to me. I believe in the power of art to connect people across cultural and language barriers, and in our role as a public gallery to facilitate meaningful experiences and well-being through our exhibitions and programs. Yet we were also becoming increasingly aware that our migrant and refugee communities were generally not visiting or engaging with us. So our conversations with Gill had a lovely synergy and timing about them, and together we saw great potential in engaging with the migrant and refugee community as a new audience and learning through the experience in a way that enriches our future engagement programs across the board. We wanted to work with a new partner, Orange City Council's Migrant and Refugee Support Service, run by the wonderful Migrant Support Officer Annie Gallagher. This service provides information, referral and individual casework support to newly arrived refugees and vulnerable migrants living in Orange and across the central west of New South Wales. Overseas migrants come from about 80 different backgrounds, with many families arriving from Ukraine, Sudan, Sri Lanka, India, and Zimbabwe, among many other places. The difficulties that migrants and refugees face are well documented. Some people end up feeling alone and isolated because they've lost the support networks that most of us take for granted: our communities, colleagues, relatives, and friends. The exciting program that Gill, Cecily, and our artist educators have developed has brought a new audience and a sense of possibility to our future programming, while helping to reduce these experiences of loneliness and disconnection. We were delighted when we received Museums and Galleries New South Wales audience development funding to deliver a pilot program over 2025, with the intention that Connecting to Place will be continued and expanded over the next 3 years.
The Connecting to Place program welcomes people from the local migrant and refugee community for a 2-hour visit to the gallery each month, seeking to create opportunities for social connection and wellbeing through slow-looking, conversation and collaborative art-making activities facilitated by artist educators. During early discussions, Annie identified an opportunity to connect with the Adult Migrant English program, a free English language and support service offered through TAFE, New South Wales, a government-funded technical training institution located a short walk from the gallery. Annie and I quickly confirmed with the enthusiastic team of TAFE teachers, Katrina Walker, Sharon McKinnon and Vicky George, that the session at the gallery would be a welcome addition to their program. We agreed that I would share related vocabulary with them prior to each session, along with a session plan, allowing teachers to incorporate the program content into their conversations and lessons in the lead up to each session. We established that students and teachers would come across from TAFE during their lunch break at 12 p.m, bringing their lunch to be shared together in our activity space, with cake and other treats provided by the gallery. This relationship with TAFE has been a delightfully unexpected bonus partnership that has proved fundamental to the success of the program, with teachers working with us to provide information to their students, encouraging attendance and supporting students during each session. The group size has fluctuated from 10 to 21 people at different times throughout the year, with a core group of 10 to 12 people attending most sessions. Annie sometimes also invites people who have newly arrived in the community, but who are not involved in language classes, as a way of including and welcoming them. TAFE teachers and representatives from community services and the gallery also attend and participate in each session, contributing to a sense of community connection. Each session follows a format that has been co-developed by a brilliant team of 4 artist educators: June Gollan, Jack Davies, Heather Valance and Anta Rixa, with each session linked to the work of artists currently on display in the galleries. 2 artist educators lead each session, which includes catching up, sharing news and lunch together in our activity space, followed by slow-looking activities, introductions to artists and their ideas, and conversations in the gallery. An embedded acknowledgement of country, sharing of images of the artists we are talking about, and the integration of the vocab words provided to TAFE, shared as flashcards, are key elements used in each gallery session. We then move back into the activity space for an open-ended making activity that responds to the artworks we have been looking at. People work in groups or alone to explore materials and themes as introduced and demonstrated by the artist educators. The sessions are fun and playful, with people encouraged to participate or observe as they wish. The artist educators and I always end with a quick debrief, and I follow up by emailing session notes and photographs to the team. By approaching the program as a pilot and consciously reflecting, reviewing and adapting as we went along, we've been able to develop a solid session framework. One example of this was when we noticed early on that most people were happy to spend more time than we had allowed in the gallery, looking at and talking about the artworks. And so we changed the timing for the next session to allow more time to explore the exhibition before moving on. An important and highly anticipated session that we would like to revisit was an excursion to a local waterfall, with lunch, a slow-looking session and art-making activity delivered in nature. This session was somewhat thwarted by inclement weather on 2 occasions, but eventually delivered in an adapted form and enjoyed very much by the group. We plan on exploring how this may work better at a different location and with backup shelter options in future.
I was thrilled before the project started because I could see that this would be a wonderful opportunity for new arrivals here and for those even had been here a little while to be able to connect and engage and really have the experience of something different. So right from the get-go, I was 100% in. But it blew me away with how engaged people have been. I wasn't sure how that would be, and I was really taken aback that I'm so thrilled that different people on different days, sometimes it wasn't always the same group, but that didn't matter. They were friendly with each other, they were learning, they were participating, they were chatting and really engaging with the art, either the art in the gallery or with the artists that have been speaking with them, or with the exercises and the opportunities they had to try different arts. So I thought that was a wonderful thing.
I've been part of the Orange Regional Gallery holiday programs and workshop programs for quite a number of years, but this program has just brought something else, because the people that are coming to it from the TAFE doing the English course, a lot of them haven't been in art galleries and haven't done creative artwork since they were children, really. So it's a real playful experience, not only for the group, but also for June and I and Heather and Ant, the other educators. It's just a bit of a play for us too.
Yeah,
it's fabulous. It's a great time.
For me, this program has been something that I very much look forward to as an opportunity to think about art making and what it means to people culturally, but also just to get my hands making again. So it has definitely been one of the more creative days of this year for me, which has been amazing.
So my role has been to oversee the whole thing, to deliver team training on wellbeing at the beginning, and then to evaluate it throughout. Our main evaluation question has been, how do structured workshops at Orange Regional Gallery, interacting with contemporary art and being outside, support the wellbeing of migrant and refugee communities? So we identified a number of success factors to find evidence of safe, supportive and accessible experiences for the participants, a safe, supported and empowered gallery team, to see a change in participants' emotional well-being, an increase in joy, a sense of flow, etc. Increased social capital, that people feel connected to themselves, to each other, to the gallery and to the area they live in, and an increase in participants' confidence with contemporary art. So there are always unexpected outcomes. For example, we did so much planning for this programme. We knew things would change as soon as the participants arrived. We had imagined that they would be shy, nervous for the first session, but this was really not the case. 20 people turned up and were full of energy. They were so excited to be here, to be in the gallery, looking at art, meeting us, being asked to slow down and look, being asked to describe what they see and how they feel. Some immediately stood up in front of the artwork, moving with tons of energy around to make their point. However, because language was a barrier, I knew that observation and documentation would be the main way to evaluate change. But how to capture in some way how people felt at the end of each session. We decided to use emoticons and give people 2 stickers to use at the end of each session, to select 2 emoticons to show us how they were feeling, if they'd had a light bulb moment, if the session made them feel really happy, if they enjoyed being creative today, or if they still felt unsure about something. One key thing we did was have an interim evaluation meeting after 4 sessions, so about 4 months into the programme. So that was with the 4 artist educators, Cecily and myself, to talk about what we're learning and seeing. And we asked ourselves these 4 questions. What could we improve and adjust? What are we learning as a team? What are we learning personally and collectively? And will we achieve our aim? And then what to celebrate? This interim meeting showed me the importance of acknowledging and supporting the well-being of the team delivering this work. In a small gallery like this, Cecily works alone a lot of the time. The artist educators are working in pairs in each session, but there are 4 of them. So us coming together like this really makes us a team. And just stopping and taking the time to share and celebrate what you're doing, it enriches and acknowledges what the team are delivering. And I know in this busy world, we forget to do that kind of thing, and it's really important. So what they bring, the team, what I observed was care. Now, care is a really big word, a really important word. Empathy, energy, authenticity, professionalism, fun, play, and being adaptable and flexible. And their skills, communication, facilitation, listening, multitasking, timekeeping. And then, of course, showing everyone how to do and make art in different ways. And what we had observed so far from the participants was a notable shift in their confidence. They had increased freedom in art making. They were more comfortable in the gallery space. They were using art vocabulary to describe their work, really big increase in speaking about art, and pride and surprise in their own creations.
Every time I came here, and I feel very comfortable, very relaxed, and I like doing art with each other and talking English, improve my English, and that was really great. Yeah.
Also, it gave a chance for the be mindful and live together and also enjoy in here. All of that art and different type of art makes me feel more happy and free, feel freedom.
Thus, I don't want end this art program. I want to, if it continue, I would be happy.
And I think too, just as a class group, it's made the art gallery seem much more accessible to people that are maybe new to our community, and just feel just feel at home and comfortable having a look at the art.
This program quickly learning. Good program. Need this program student TAFE.
This program is very good for us because we enjoy artist paints of Australia. It's a little bit different style. It's very interesting for us, and it's very fun time for us. We are very happy when we do something ourselves. It's fine. It reminds me my childhood when I was child, and I did it and relaxing. Very good. Thank you very much.
So here are some key core principles around developing an art and wellbeing program of this nature that can work for both the general public and specific groups. But it is vital to really think about the need for your organisation. Is this the right time and context? You know, Brad said yes, because this idea came at the right time. The wellbeing approach fitted in with their strategic vision. So the principles, based on slow looking, a mindful, intentional way of engaging with art. Create a safe environment through detailed planning, but also be prepared to flex and adapt. And provide relevant training to support your team, the staff and the artist educators, working with contemporary art and taking place during gallery opening hours. Integrate non-Western approaches and ideas. That this work is led by artist educators. So an artist educator is an artist who believes in the power of pedagogy. They are neither teachers nor art therapists, but practicing artists who work to open up spaces for expression and creativity, but not driven by the purpose of reaching a therapeutic outcome. Collaboration with partners. You can't do this alone. And then finally, evaluation. Evaluate throughout, from beginning to end, with that interim meeting in the middle, to measure impact and unexpected outcomes.
I'm looking forward to the continuation of Connecting to Place in 2026 and beyond. I'm proud of what we have achieved together and believe that through careful planning, flexibility and refinement, we have been able to create a sustainable model that demonstrates successful council collaboration and community partnership, engages a new audience and delivers important opportunities for social connection and wellbeing at the gallery. I'm also excited to explore how this model could be modified for other groups that Council's Community Services team supports, such as young people, people living with disabilities, and older people at risk of loneliness and isolation. The program has been an absolute delight to coordinate. I look forward to seeing all the smiling faces walk through the door each month, sharing lunch together, listening to insightful observations and conversations in the galleries, and witnessing the joy of free-flowing creative energy in our activity space. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.